Yesterday, I was watching a video from CBC News, and they mentioned that Pierre Poilievre doesn't talk about President Trump and his tariffs and anything like that, and that's why it's going to lose him the election. I definitely disagree with it because I feel like Pierre Poilievre is talking about the more important things, and he's talking about what led to these big issues prior to tariffs. Like I mentioned multiple times, like if Canada was in the good economic situation prior President Trump going to the White House, we wouldn't be suffering or really like the normal citizens. Obviously, the industry, economics, everything would suffer because of the tariffs. But us as a normal citizens wouldn't really feel it as much. Yeah, the groceries would get more expensive and maybe we would have to tighten our belts a little bit. But because of the Liberal government and their three previous terms, those tariffs are kind of like a nail into the coffin to the normal citizens, right? We all know that the middle class in Canada is pretty much non-existent right now. It just the gap between the low class and the very rich people is just so huge right now, and there's no one in between. Because even if you make, I don't know, 150K a year, it's not enough. It's not enough. Uh, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you're gonna have a decent lifestyle. You're probably gonna be able to pay off all of your bills. But how many people make 150K, right? And honestly, 100K is not enough. 100K is not enough to pay off the bills if that's your whole family income. If you owe the house, owe the car, own the house, own the car, 100K would not be enough. If you have some kids as well, you commute to work, because of the price of the gas, price of the groceries, insurance, mortgage, everything, like that doesn't cut it. Not really. And who's at fault? Who was in power for the last 9, 10 years? Liberals. And you want to tell me that you want to vote for them again, even though then in those 10 years they didn't do anything good for you? Anyway, my point. So yeah, someone mentioned on the CBC News that Pierre Poilievre is not talking about President Trump. Well, let's look into that. There's a video that Pierre posted about 23 hours ago, so pretty much yesterday. It's very similar to the video I already reacted to, but here he mentions President Trump even more.
Retaliate against unfair American tariffs and work to eliminate them. But what we really need to do...
Here we go. Of course you're going to retaliate, right? But it shouldn't be your whole plan. Because if you retaliate, you're still depending on the US. Like you're hoping they're going to help you out of this situation. You're hoping that you're going to push them away and make everything like it was before. And that's not what you want. You don't want them to one day decide, oh, okay, the Canada's still screwing us over. Let's put the tariffs back. And we're back in the same situation. You don't want that. You want to build your economy. You want to be self-reliant. Like Canada has so much natural heritage. Why aren't we utilizing it? I'll tell you why. Because of the Liberals. Because of the Liberals stopping the pipeline. Because of them just not wanting to utilize the resources we have and just depending too much on the trade. Like obviously you're gonna depend on the trade with other countries, but that's what I'm saying. Other countries, not just US, right? Look, we were depending on US for so long that right now if US says, no, the tariffs are here, you're gonna pay more, we're screwed. But again, that's not the biggest issue. The issue was here before the tariffs. And that's what Pierre Poilievre understands. And that's what he's trying to trying to solve. And I hope all the Canadians will understand this as well, that President Trump is just tip of the iceberg. Like, you need to start from the bottom, not from the top. Like, okay, you deal with the tariffs and then what? Then you're in the same situation as in December. Was it great in December? Did you have a great life in December? Stress less, financially great? Did you work hard at work and could go for 2 vacations for 2 cars? I doubt that. Because again, there's no middle class, right? It's just either lower class or rich people. So yeah, let's listen to what Pierre Poilievre is actually planning to do.
Is reverse the weakness caused by the lost Liberal decade. They blocked pipelines, LNG plants, mines, nuclear power, and forced Canadians to give.
And now look, LNG plants. Isn't it what Canada could have become really rich on thanks to the Russia right now? Wasn't like Europe looking for a lot of LNG because of the war in Ukraine when they stopped or they tried to get rid of Russia and their gas? Now imagine if Liberals didn't stop all of these plans. It could have been golden age for Canada. Like, we wouldn't deal with inflation. We would be thriving because of that. But no, Liberals just decided we're gonna mooch, we're gonna corrupt the whole country, and, pardon my French, fuck the normal people. Sorry, this video is gonna be 18 plus, but that's what it is. Literally, fuck the normal people. I don't know if you saw, Mark Carney. I don't know why I call him Mike. I guess it would be better name than Mark, you know. Hey Mark, do you know that movie? If yeah, just write me in the comments. But anyway, Mark Carney had a phone call with President Trump yesterday. After 14 days in the office. That was his first phone call. Apparently it was very productive, very respectful and everything. And they're gonna deal or negotiate a new deal, which will help us get off the tariffs, after the election. After the election! In 28 days or 29 days. So yeah, not only that right now we have other tariffs, on the April 2nd, we're going to have more tariffs. And from April 2nd, right? For 26 days at least, we're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to pay more. We're going to have to suffer. And why? Because, and again, pardon my French, even though Canada's half French, right? Because Liberals don't give a fuck about normal people. Like, look. Mark Carney is Prime Minister right now. And he's not doing his job. And he literally says, I'm not gonna do my job until you re-elect me. And that's the person you want to elect again? You really want to vote for Liberals? Not only that they screwed us for 10 years right now, or 9.5, whatever, but they keep doing it even a month to election. They base the election on President Trump, and then they are like, oh, you know what, we'll deal with the President Trump once we're reelected. They don't care about you people. Realize that. Listen to Pierre Poilievre. He has a plan, and that's the plan that's gonna work. Like, obviously, retaliation, well, that's the plan of Liberals as well, right? Let's retaliate. That's gonna happen. For a few months, it might be a bad situation, even though conservatives are planning all of the tax cuts, right? Like, I believe this gentleman that he's gonna try to do everything he can so the Canadian families won't feel the tariffs as much as if the Liberals are in the power, right? But anyway, after the few months, once he restarts the economy, starts using all of these resources, we're just going to move away from the US. And guess what? Thanks to the behavior of the US and President Trump, now we have opened doors for better trade deals with European Union. So, because we're pretty much in the same boat, right? Like the US is trying to screw with Canada, trying to screw with European Union. So why won't we deal with each other, right? Like Canada has so much to offer, and European Union has the money to buy that. So why not, right? Anyway, let's continue with this video. And yes, you are right, The Room and The Disaster Artist. That's where the famous, oh, hey, Mark, is from.
75% of their exports to the Americans. After the lost liberal decade, costs and crime are up, and our economy is down under the American thumb. That's why we need to put Canada first with a new Conservative government that will unlock our resources, repeal...
Sorry for interrupting him. I just realized one thing. You know, let's put Canada first. You might feel like it sounds silly, right? What is he talking about? Put Canada first. You all pay taxes, right? Do you know where the money is going? The money is going to, right now, probably to Ukraine. Like, it's going outside of Canada. Again, obviously, Ukraine needs help. Even though I think that war should have been over, yes, support Ukraine, but they need to deal about the peace, and they didn't do it for, 3 years now? Now they're finally starting to talk about it because people are like, oh, wait, we don't want to support war, we want the peace, right? But anyway, so the Canada and the Liberals were just sending the taxpayers' money outside of Canada without the taxpayers' permission. There was no referendum if you want to help Ukraine by your tax money instead of improving your lifestyle, improving infrastructure, building some new sources of the clean energy, just anything that would actually help Canada. No, Liberals just decided, let's send that to Ukraine. And again, French, fuck the normal people. Screw the Canadians. We don't care. Let's just send it to Ukraine so Canada looks good. Doesn't matter that it's going to become unlivable or unaffordable for the normal people, for the new families. It's almost unaffordable to start a family in the Canada right now. Like where's that Canadian promise? Like Liberals definitely didn't put the Canada first, and that's, yeah, you might hear it, conservatives being like, oh, Canada first, might sound a little bit cringy, but if you realize that even the taxpayers' money went outside of the Canada for something that does not help Canada, obviously Liberals are not for Canadians. Liberals are for their own interest.
Anti-energy laws, build pipelines, mines, LNG plants, axe taxes for our industry, investors, home builders, and workers, allowing us to bring back the $500 billion that Liberals have pushed out of our country. In other words, we don't know exactly what the Americans are going to do. The president seems to change his mind from time to time. But we know what we can do. What we can do is take back control of our economic destiny, build an economic fortress by bringing home production, unlocking our resources, and standing strong for our economy here at home. Thank you.
Exactly. You don't know what the US is gonna do. Like, US is for US. US is literally make America great again. They do what works for them, or what their representatives, in this case President Trump, thinks is gonna work for them, to give them better life. They don't have to care about Canadians. They don't have any responsibility to Canadians. And again, pardon me, President Trump is businessman. Of course he's trying to strike the best deal he can. And looks like right now he's gonna be able to strike the best deal with Liberals. And that's what's crazy to me. Like, just thinking about it. For President Trump, it would be good to make a deal right now, because he can't be sure that the conservatives won't win, right? He cannot be sure that it's going to be another term for liberals. So in my opinion, my guess, my humble guess, I might be wrong about this, the person who decided not to deal about the new agreement or contract or whatever you want to call it was actually our Prime Minister, Mark Carney. He's the one who decided, let's do it after the elections. And it's really funny thing because whoever wins the elections, we know it's going to be either liberals or NDP, right? Sorry, liberals or conservatives. But even if in some crazy case NDP would get majority and we had NDP government, they still have to deal with tariffs and President Trump. So it's not really argument from liberals. Like whoever wins is going to have to deal with it. So why should we vote for you? You have an option to deal with it right now in these next 29 days right now, but you're not doing it. And again, tariffs are just tip of the iceberg. Like you need to make sure that it's never gonna happen again. So yeah, people, vote with your logic. I'm not gonna tell you who to vote. You know who I want you to vote, but really, think about it. Think about what you want in the future. Think about what you had in the past. And do you want the change or do you want it to stay the same? Do you want to have at least a hope for a better future? Because let's be honest, it's still politics. Like all of these right now are just the promises. Well, to be fair, from the conservative sides, it's the promise. From liberal side, you can look at the actions. So if you look at the actions right now, is that something you want to vote for again? Or you want to put your faith and hope into the promises? I think right now that's the best choice you have. Like I can't promise you that Pierre Poilievre will do everything he's talking about, but at least there's that hope. At least you don't hear him talking about how President Trump is the one who pretty much destroyed the whole Canada, right? So again, just vote with your logic. People don't want cisgender men to lead. Yeah, people don't want cisgender men to lead because people want men to lead. What is that cisgender? Like we have a man and a woman. And that's what Pierre Poilievre stands for. We have two genders. We have a man to lead. We don't need liberals. We don't need all of this other stuff.